Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news about a graffiti tag at the new Walmart, a major SpaceX accomplishment, a food dispute at a college, today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Well, we learned yesterday that the new Walmart construction site got hit by graffiti Sunday night. There was a very large tag on one of the walls. It was reported to the police. This caused substantial damage. PACT volunteer Lou Arnold, who is the main person that takes care of all graffiti in the city, met with the construction superintendent and discussed what he can do to help. Police will be stepping up their patrol of the area, as well as PACT volunteers will also increase patrols of the site. Police would like to catch this tagger. If you have any information as to who did this, please contact the Ridgecrest Police Department with your information. You can be anonymous if you want to. Call the Ridgecrest Police at 760-499-5100. In space news from Cape Canaveral, Florida, California-based SpaceX made history Monday night when it successfully launched a Falcon 9 rocket into orbit and then deployed 11 satellites. Now the amazing part. After deploying the 11 satellites, they then brought the 15-story booster back to Earth for a soft, vertical landing just 6 miles from where it took off at Cape Canaveral, Florida. This mission achieved two major accomplishments. This is the first time billionaire Elon Musk's Space Exploration Technology Corporation, or SpaceX, has attempted to land a rocket on land, and the first ever successful attempt to recover a rocket from an orbital flight. NBC News reports, as the rocket came to rest on its landing pad, a SpaceX webcast commentator confirmed the Falcon has landed, drawing an eruption of applause from those gathered at the base private spaceflight company headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Monday's breakthrough comes just 6 months after a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket exploded shortly after takeoff while carrying supplies to the International Space Station. Several other previous attempts to land Falcon 9 on floating platforms in the Atlantic also were unsuccessful. In an attempt to explain just how complicated the mission was, one SpaceX commentator compared it with launching a pencil over the Empire State Building, having it reverse, come back down, and land on a shoebox on the ground during a windstorm. It's an insane thing to try and do, he said. This capability will eventually reduce the cost of spaceflight. The recovery of the main booster stage on a landing pad will greatly reduce the cost of recovering boosters from the ocean, where they usually fall into after each flight. Here's a video of this major accomplishment.
Landing legs should be deploying in about 10 seconds or so. That is a view from the landing pad.
That is that first stage
Coming
coming
down.
back down to land at Cape Canaveral. History in the making, guys.
Stage one is landed. LZ-1, the Falcon is landed. Landing operators moving to procedure 11.100, section 3 on LZ-1 BNet and recovery net. Repeat, the Falcon has landed. By 611 kilometers, flying 87 degrees.
Oh my God!
Oh my God. I cannot believe this.
Wow, is that amazing or what? Now, are you ready for this in the world of political correctness? Last week, students at Oberlin College in Ohio made complaints about bad dining hall food, a perennial lament of collegians, as a problematic social justice failure. Wow. Word spread via people who saw their behavior as political correctness run amok. The New York Post gleefully mocked the students at Lena Dunham's college. On social media, many wondered if the controversy was a parody. Some thought it was a hoax. Turns out it's not. Deep Nguyen, a college first-year student from Vietnam, jumped with excitement at the sight of Vietnamese food on Stevenson's Dining Hall's menu at orientation this year. Craving Vietnamese comfort food, Nguyen rushed to the food station with high hopes. What she got, however, was a total disappointment. The traditional banh mi Vietnamese sandwich that Stevenson Dining Hall promised turned out to be a cheap imitation of the East Asian dish. The student's grievance, as reported by Clover Lynn Tron at the Oberlin Review, Bon Appetit, the food service vendor, has a history of blurring the line between culinary diversity and cultural appropriation by, get ready, by modifying their recipes without respect for certain Asian countries' cuisines. This uninformed representation of cultural dishes has been noted by many students that take issue with the school's modification of traditional recipes. Last time I ever saw any kind of chefs working on food preparation, chefs are always tinkering with recipes to change them and make them suit certain appetites. This concern about making any dish one certain way would be like me saying there's only one way to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if you make it any other way, you are offending my heritage. But yet, at this college, these students don't seem to believe a recipe can be changed by anyone. Perhaps the pinnacle of what many students believe to be culturally appropriate sustenance system is Dascombe Dining Hall's sushi bar. The sushi is anything but authentic for Tomoyo Joshi, a college junior from Japan, who said that the undercooked rice and lack of fresh fish is disrespectful. She added that in Japan, sushi is regarded so highly that people sometimes take years of apprenticeship before learning how to appropriately serve it. Isn't college supposed to be a world of learning and exploration of new ideas and concepts? It's a learning institution's responsibility to provide an environment to their students with exposure of new things. So there you have it. Finally, here's a warning to all chefs in training. Never modify any recipes. Never experiment with new ways to make a food dish. Oberlin College in Ohio will fail you right out of school. Now stay tuned for today's KZGN Talking Points editorial when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for the 104th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. We say Merry Christmas here, as well as other greetings. But first, there were a few questions from last Thursday's editorial titled, Are Drunk Driving Checkpoints a Good Thing? This was a basic editorial providing information as to how DUI checkpoints are set up and paid for by the city. The Ridgecrest Police Department will join police departments across the nation over the holiday period to crack down on drunk drivers under the influence of alcohol or drugs. As a volunteer with the Ridgecrest PD, I have worked these DUI checkpoints. I see the professionalism the officers use in setting up the checkpoint and the instructions they received and how to conduct the checkpoint. Here's some questions we got. Skip asked, Tom, I have 2 questions about this local DWI checkpoint. First, are you, the driver, legally required to participate in this checkpoint? And 2, are the checkpoints all completely staffed by licensed police officers? My answer to you, Skip, is yes. Once you enter into the checkpoint, the driver must stop if so signaled by the officer. And yes, the officers that conduct the checkpoint are sworn officers trained in the proper use of a checkpoint. Dan commented, it's not clear that some of the sites chosen by RPD fully comply with California requirements, specifically location, for example, the frequent site on Norma. To you, Dan, all I can say is that all locations chosen by the police are chosen and set up in accordance with California state law. Stan questions the effectiveness of them, thinking that only one person has ever been caught. Stan, More than one person has been caught in the checkpoints over the years. But the main point Stan was trying to make was that he felt that saturation patrols might be a better way to get DUI drivers off the road. Well, Stan, the police do both. They do the checkpoints and special saturation patrols. And as a note, the labor and equipment used specific to these checkpoints were all paid for out of grant money, not the city's general fund. The message, don't drink and drive. Now on to with today's editorial titled, We Say Merry Christmas Here, as well as other greetings. Most of you know that besides this TV station, I also own Guns for Us here in Ridgecrest. When it comes to Christmas time, all my employees are free to provide any greetings on the season they see appropriate. The political correctness world has tried, somewhat effectively, to change the greeting to Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. The important point is that while many businesses have actually banned their employees from saying Merry Christmas, telling them to say nothing or maybe Happy Holidays, I do not dictate what they can say. I myself wish everyone a Merry Christmas. But if someone turns to me and offers me a Happy Hanukkah, I accept that as a meaningful greeting. Or if someone says Happy Kwanzaa, that's fine too. I have Jewish friends that I say Happy Hanukkah to, and they return with Merry Christmas. It's a mutual respect of each other's religious backgrounds. And for those that do not believe in the religious meaning of Christmas, that's okay too. You have that right. Religious freedom applies to everyone. Of course, Christmas wasn't always an official holiday. Before 1840, public displays of partying and merrymaking was kind of frowned upon as being too unchristian. But between 1840 and 1870, more and more people started celebrating Christmas. And then in 1870, the Congress did establish it as a holiday. I really enjoy Christmas. I enjoy my family coming to visit. I have family coming into Ridgecrest from Mammoth Lakes and Los Angeles, all coming here to celebrate here. I don't even care about presents anymore. All I really want is my family around to eat, play games, visit, and yes, celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Oh, and we might even go out to the gun range and do a little shooting too. We'll all be going to Christmas Eve service at Our Savior's Lutheran Church. It seems almost everyone likes the holiday. Well, almost everyone. Apparently there are still some nuts that want to apply the First Amendment to meaning that the government should do away with the holiday, as it is supposedly, in their opinion, the federal government recognizing one religion. Well, newsflash, it is not just one religion. There are hundreds of different religions that still share in the belief of Christmas. Of course, there are also some religions that do not believe in Jesus Christ. But anyway, some do celebrate this as the birth of Jesus Christ. What harm is everyone knowing that? Just think of it as everyone knowing someone else's birthday. Enough with thin-skinned reaction to another's beliefs. If you don't share the same belief, just ignore it. And if you don't care to hear Merry Christmas from someone, just say no thanks. And for all the nuts out there that don't want the Christmas holiday, go to work on Friday. Enjoy yourself. If you don't want to celebrate it, it's fine. But for the rest of the sane, understanding people out there, we'll just go along as it was established in 1870. We'll enjoy the Christmas season. Have a day off work. Go out and drive around town and look at Christmas light displays. Some will exchange gifts in the celebration. Some of us will also go to church to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. So, whether I hear Merry Christmas or Happy Kwanzaa or Happy Hanukkah, all is good. All I know is my employees are free to offer the greeting or not, with no repercussion from me. Freedom is good. In conclusion, freedom is important. No one is forcing anyone to celebrate Christmas. If you don't want to celebrate it, go to work and have a great day. For those that do want to celebrate it, I say Merry Christmas. I'm Tom Whittick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial, or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Now stay with us for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Lane for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, a series of storms continues to impact the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, where coastal rain and heavy mountain snow are expected, with the greatest amounts likely over the Cascades and northern and central Rockies. Meanwhile, widespread rainfall is forecasted from the Gulf Coast to the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. Elsewhere, severe weather is possible for parts of the southern plains. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 72, Georgia at 63, Arkansas at 62, northern Texas at 65, Arizona at 51, and Los Angeles at 60. And for us locally, tonight mostly cloudy with a low around 37, southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 57, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 30, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, a 20% chance of rain, partly sunny with a high near 55, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 33, west wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. And Christmas Day, a 20% chance of rain and snow, mostly sunny with a high near 49, west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. And now here's Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Tuesday early evening. Your sports for this Tuesday, I said yesterday on our sportscast, we'd look at the NFL standings, and it is very interesting. Now, Denver is 10-4. They have not clinched anything. They're out west in that very tough AFC division. Kansas City now 9-5. Kansas City sitting in a very good spot for the wild card right now, but they've got their sights on Denver. Denver not playing real well right now. Had a tough loss in Pittsburgh last week. Now up north, Cincinnati clinched their division. They beat San Francisco over the weekend up north in Northern California. So right now, Cincinnati 11-3, and they are automatically in the playoffs. Pittsburgh 9-5. They're the number 2 team from the north, and right now they hold that second wild card position over the Jets in the tiebreaker. The Jets won this weekend. The Jets also 9-5. The Jets have won 4 games in a row. Seemed like yesterday they were 5-5. Now down south, Houston is 7-7. Indianapolis 6-8. However, Houston would have the tiebreaker even if they did tie. Houston beat Indianapolis this past weekend in Indy. Now out east, New England has clinched the division. They are 12-2. The Jets in second at 9-5. But right now, the Jets are going to need some help. They've got to hope that Kansas City loses, also Pittsburgh loses, and they have to win their next 2 games for them to be in the playoffs. All right, out west in the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals win again. 6 in a row for the Cardinals. Are now 12-2. Their best start in, probably since Kurt Warner was there back in the mid-90s. Seattle is 9-5. All of a sudden, they're back in the hunt. Pete Carroll's got those guys playing very well. Up north, Green Bay has clinched their division. They are 10-4 right now, with Minnesota 9-5. Minnesota holding the other wild card position if the season ended today. Now down south, Carolina the story, 14-0. They beat the Giants this past weekend. They had a huge lead. They hung on at the end. Cam Newton threw for over 300 yards. Atlanta, 7-7. They're the number 2 team in the South, but right now they're going to need a lot of help to get a wild card spot. They have to win out, and they have to hope that Seattle and Minnesota lose their remaining 2 games. Out east, anybody can win. You pick them. The Washington Redskins, who would have thought it, are 7-7 right now. That's good enough if the season ended today to be in the playoffs. Philadelphia 6-8, the Giants 6-8. The Giants just don't have any luck. They have lost 4 games in overtime. They have lost 6 of their games in the last 2 minutes of football games. Tom Coughlin does a great job, the veteran coach. They just need some luck. All right, in the NHL, it stands for the National Hockey League if you're not a hockey fan. The Kings have 42 points. That's good enough to lead the Pacific Division. The counterpart down in Anaheim, 45 minutes away, 29 points. That will be last in the Pacific. So the top and the bottom both out west here with the Kings and the Ducks. Burroughs basketball, they're off until after Christmas. They'll be down in the Long Beach area for a tournament. They'll play St. Anthony's next Wednesday. And a look at the college bowl games coming up. The Boca Raton Bowl, which is today, Temple in Toledo. This Saturday, the Foster Farms Bowl, UCLA and Nebraska. Look for UCLA to win that game. The Holiday Bowl on December 30th, USC and Wisconsin. Look for USC to win that game. Now the Big Four left. They have the playoff system now. The Orange Bowl, New Year's Eve, Clemson and Oklahoma. Could go either way. I'm going to take the Sooners to beat Clemson. The Cotton Bowl, New Year's Eve. The winner there plays 2 weeks on January 11th against the winner of the Clemson-Oklahoma game. Alabama, Michigan State. Boy, that could go either way. I like the Michigan State defense, but Alabama just is too good offensively. I pick Alabama by a touchdown over Michigan State. Well, that would be your sports for this Tuesday. I'm Tom Heck. I'm going to wish you all a very happy holiday, Merry Christmas season. We'll catch you in the new year. For KZGN, that is your sports.
So that's the news for today. All of the KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk, coming up next.